Alright, namaste, motherfucker. We are going to read some Way to Love. Yes, we are. I feel stuck in my head. My body's there, but I'm stuck in my head. Let's not lie. I really have the deepest moments of inspiration towards hitting record. When I drop into the body and the buzzings are so clear and the inspiration is so abundant. But in those moments, the complexity of the feels is inarticulable. And there's some inverse correlation between the intensity of experience, the wanting to flip on the camera to say the thing that the experience thinks it wants to be teaching, and the actual ability to string the thoughts together. The recent LSD experience has been one of kind of forcing the issue of stitching the thoughts into the embodied experience. And moving the thoughts at a cool, really simple kind of like pop motion. Let's see if this resonates with you, this particular word pattern. It was something like, if I'm doing something, the thing I'm doing is the subject and I'm the object. And then I can kind of like, it happens, you blip, if you will, into a new state where you notice that you are now watching from a greater context what you're doing. So now it's not the thing that you're doing is the subject, and you are the object doing the subject, but you remember that you are a person doing a thing. So now Ben doing a video becomes the new subject of the object. And the LSD experience was one in which, and if you've done LSD, this really might resonate. Or not, or if you've mindfulness, any psychedelia, or just a person who feels connected to their own interior and exterior experience. All right, here you go. I'm going to say it now. So the idea was, during the LSD experience, it became so experientially obvious that next layer of subject-object was that process of making the subject the next object. Or making, you are and subject making a thing an object, and you being a subject making the thing an object becomes the object of the next subject, right? So the feeling is, you remember that you are God doing Ben doing the thing you're doing. So it's this real ease of like moving without. And what the thing that makes it a little tricky is when you're really in a flow state and you remember, like I'm learning to touch type. This is my new thing, getting my hands to touch type. And when I'm flowing with it, it is starting to get a little bit automatic. I'm pathetically slow at it. It's like 10 to 20 words a minute. I mean, I'm new at this. I can barely even shit. But I know where the keys are, It's kind of cool to stare at the screen and have that notion and make the words appear. So I'm learning to do this, and I can so clearly see when I'm in flow state and when I accidentally bump from subject, from being from the world being my subject of doing to myself being the subject of my own inquiry. I'm learning this thing. That is less of a flow state than actually doing the thing. And then when I remember, again, with the salience of the recent LSD experience and the mindfulness and the synchromysticism of the universe, just shooting this stuff into my awareness all the time now, either from interior or exterior sources, I don't know from where. So when that awareness pops up again, like, don't forget, you're God doing Ben, doing what you're doing. And that is removed from the flow state of the moment's experience in a way that is a little bit upsetting and disorienting. Because you feel like you're closer to the truth when you're remembering that you're God choosing to have this experience. And from that state, very profound feelings of transpersonal awareness can emerge, even if it's not a pure witness consciousness. There's something unbelievably loving and unknowing about this mode of being. This, like, it's a little beyond the mind to grasp it, and so to try to look at it has some special effects. But part of those special effects is the difficulty of keeping your head to the ground of what you're actually trying to get at. And this is a great example of that now, because there was somewhere else I was going with this. I was complaining. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It's pretty much all I ever do. Right, about not being in the body, remembering God. I'm feeling a little more, see, I can feel myself moving to the body, and I can feel myself, there's some level of choice to the extent to which I want to live in my head or live in my body. And do I want to live in my head in relationship to my sense of the transpersonal story I have, the I'm God stuff, we're all God, facets of the face of God stuff. It's no personal, there's no aggrandizement here. I'm no more God than the other side of the camera. There's no difference. It's all God, is what I mean to say. How can I be not God if it's all God? Right, okay, so tie it all together, Benjamin. Tie it all together. I found this guitar in the trash, and then I got it fixed up, and it's awesome now. I want to show you. That's how you tie things together. Okay, let's read. No, let's separate these videos. Fuck it. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's fail at communication in public. See, this isn't fair. I can feel this. This is me kind of just spacing out. I don't mind staring into the camera, saying nothing, if I feel really connected to what's happening in the body. But my balance of experience is flying away from the body a little bit right now. And that's okay. But it's doesn't feel like an appropriate ask of your attention. I don't mind you looking at me while I feel connected, and I feel like you can sense what's happening here in a way that is wholesome and enriching and mutually juicy. But I think I'm stuck a little bit in Ben consciousness. Ben trying to remember something that Ben can't really remember, but having a huge sense of faith and knowingness of it to be true. What do I want? What was I feeling? What is happening in the body right now? See, that feels better. I feel like that works. This works. So I would love to succinctly tie the thread together of this subject to object movement and its unceasingness. And how seeing it clearly is both hugely liberating, utterly terrifying, radically disorienting, and intrinsically victorious and loving. And that the intensity of the energies connected to their transpersonal narrative structure, so like anger energy is break and destroy, get me out of here energy, like I don't want to be here energy, get me out of here, man, like how the fuck do I get out of here? I want out, like keep yourself calm. All these different energies are not Ben energies. Grieving energy, just all the tragedy of every fucking insect to get caught in amber, and every conscious being left to die, bereft by the dead and black universe. That's me. At some point, I could be, in my car in the ditch on the side of a road, dying in pain, alone and scared. This is part of the structure of consciousness. I can imagine this, and it might happen to me, and it's definitely happened to people in the past. You ever imagine, like, Kobe Bryant's last seconds? Like, just, like, the fucking terror and horror and confusion and fog and, like, oh my God, my daughter. It's like, it's too much. This is too much to handle, to be sensitive. And we can't handle it. And I can't handle it. And I'm learning that I can't handle it, and I'm learning how to increase my capacity to understand my inability to handle it, and to slowly and carefully titrate my ability to handle as much reality as I can. And part of that is learning to balance, like, whatever version of Godhead consciousness I have in with my here's Ben's life consciousness, which is so goddamn beautiful and lucky and perfect. It's just insane. My life is exactly how I want it to be. Even Ben knows that. It doesn't take popping into God consciousness to remember that things are how they are now because that's how I want them to be. And if I wanted things to be different, well, they'd be different. But I don't want them to be different. So it's so lucky to sense that. To sense that. Whatever I think I would want to be different, I'm kidding myself. I would have made it that way. Or we would have tried at least. And I'm just so fortunate. The me who got me here is such a champ. So lucky. So good at helping people and helping himself and acquiring resources. I mean, I'm just in such good shape right now. The body feels good. And again, all this can drop in a second, but my level of personal life gratitude is insane. This guitar, I mean, all the money, everything. I've just absolutely everything. And so I don't kid myself into thinking I wish things were different. I simply move in the direction that seems to me to be the direction to go. And of course I do kid myself. I'm confident that whatever one moment's object is will become the subject of the next. Why does this hurt my head so much? Whatever the moment's subject is will be the object of the next. Whatever the object is that is viewing the subject will become the subject of the next moment's object. That's a good way to put it. This is the endless cycle of becoming, of innovative creation. I want to pull out sex ecology and spirituality and pick a random page and read some incredibly flowering articulation of the boundless freedom that is consciousness. And then stew in that like I wrote it myself. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep trying to pull this thread around and summarize what's going on here. Yeah, I'm practicing. I'm practicing talking. I'm practicing trying to be coherent. I'm recognizing that what I'm doing is, what's that word? You know, it's not preemptive. It's not preemptory. Preliminative. What's the word? Preliminative? Preliminary. What I'm doing here is preliminary. In terms of it lacks the coherency to be something that I would actually want people to watch. But I'm still committed to the practice and committed to the vision of unapologetically, clearly and kindly putting out into the world my beliefs about how it could be, about how it is, about how it should be, and about how I want it. And the nightmare of history, it's not just the facts of death and competition within evolutionary structures. And it's not just culture and exploitation, and it's not just the happenstance of me having this super functional, healthy body for the time being. It just doesn't pain me. It gives me all these pleasures if I want it to. It grows the sweet beard. Sweet beard, sweet beard. The world hasn't been the same. Oh no, my beard hasn't been the same. Me and my buddy Adam wrote this great song last night. We're not done it. My beard hasn't been the same since I lit it on fire, which I did do over here a little bit. All right. So we're going to summarize. Subjects, objects, flow state, snap into object. Remember, you're the one doing the flow state, and you're a little bit less in the flow state. And when you remember, snap out again, that you're God doing the person who's doing the thing. You snap out of the flow state of being the person a little bit more. And that's tricky. Because you need some centralized vision of yourself to navigate wise flow state decisions. You can get into flow state doing all types of abhorrent things. So you want to move your flow in the direction of your greater sense of good. And when you've got the Godhead consciousness, you can keep that in mind for yourself as well, whatever that means. Whatever that means for you. I know what it means for me in terms of some uncomfortable truths about my own state of denial. And yet recognizing I'm denying some truth, which is that I'm God. Even though I feel like I'm Ben talking about God right now, there are ways to I've felt myself to be the other way around. And that way was so obviously more real and so more resonantly connected with the spiritual traditions of humanity, that my faith as to the reality of things is through the roof. Despite the fact that I'm aware that my faith is in inverse correlation to Ben, my actual ability to look at the truth. Yeah, it didn't put it all that well. It's hard to word. I had some good stuff here though. And again, my beard. You gotta listen to a guy with a beard like this. Gotta listen to a guy with a beard like this. Oh, camera's moving. Oh my god. Hey! Gotta listen to a guy with a beard like this. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me, people. Listen to me. Alright, let's do a 1 minute weighted... It's like a guided meditation, but it's a weighted meditation. And then we'll end the video. It'll be about 20 minutes there. Yeah, a little past 20 minutes. Okay, ready. I'm going to guide you through meditation. Okay, sit straight. Close your eyes. Back is strong, firm. You are sitting in front of your future self who is benevolently judging you. But your front is soft and mushy and wide open to feeling what it needs to feel. During this morning's meditation, I breathed as though my belly button was my mouth, and that was a nice little imaginary cool sensation for keeping me focused on the place in my body I like to during breath, and give me an anchor point to come back to during the inevitable wandering. I tried breathing out of my butt, which had its benefits, but I didn't like as much as breathing out of my stomach. So let's do a couple breaths right out of the belly button. This hurts. Why does this hurt? Oh, right, because I'm holding weight. Wait. It's so funny. I just want every friend and person, I want everyone I've ever known to be looking back at me right now so we can say hi and experience how much we love each other together. You know? All right, bye.